Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chelsea Perspective live stream. Today, we're going to talk about Chelsea and Senegalese international goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, and I have with me RCBN Chelsea Fans TV and also Tyrone. Uh, and hopefully, it will be a very interesting one for you guys. And at the time, I will share the link in the comment section so that everybody that wants to join can join. And also, if you're part of the group chat on Twitter, you can find the panel link there. So today we're going to talk about Eduardo Mendes' life story, what we can learn from it as individuals, and also we'll talk about his transfer to Chelsea Football Club, how well he's done for Chelsea, how well he did in the UEFA Champions League final, and also at the end I will ask a very interesting question to see how much we really like the guy. Okay, I'll start by asking Tyrone to give us an overview of Edouard Mendy's life story.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. Now, his with his biography, what I found out was that his mother is alive, and his mother, I believe, is Senegalese, which is where he's able to play for because he was actually born in France, and his dad is dead, unfortunately, and I think he's African. I think both are Africans, but I don't remember the name of the place though, but they're both Africans, and his dad is dead, and everything. Um, well, everybody knows that he's 29. He had a nickname called Tall Doorkeeper because of how tall he is. He's 6 foot 6 inches and everything. And some people found out that Furlong Mendy is his cousin, and he has a few siblings. He has a sister, and he's believed to be Islam or Muslim.
Okay.
So so that's one thing. Um, with him as well, he tends to have this fun vibe. And for those who look at his stories on Instagram, he always jokes with Hakim Ziyech and everything. So he has that fun mentality and everything. And it's with his life story, it's really touching because at one point, he had his ex-agent, just left him one day and said, I wish you a good future, and just left him. And for a few years, he was without a club, and at one point he considered, just quitting football and just becoming I think it was a retailer, or something along those lines, because he couldn't find a club. So because of that, he decided to leave. But something regarding his dad was that when he became professional, he was alive when he to see him become professional. But he unfortunately isn't alive to see his son, win the Champions League. But it's believed that he had a heart problem, and that was why he died. It's pretty unfortunate, but I mean, one of the reasons why Mendy was crying was because he did reveal on Instagram that he was remembering his dad. I know his dad kept on motivating him to never give up, especially to the point where he was without a club. But his dad died, so it's pretty unfortunate for him. And he was at Stade Reims. I think they were in the second division of the French league, and he was there, and then he went on to Stade Rennais, where obviously everybody know he was there, and he led them for the few games he played to third place, and they qualified for the Champions League, and he was signed after that.
Tyrone, thank you very much for taking some time and telling us Eduardo Mendes' life story. It is quite touching, and fortunately for him, his father couldn't live to see how far he's come and seeing him lift the UEFA Champions League trophy. It's quite a touching story, and one that is that if we pay attention, there's a lot to learn from it. Never give up. Keep going after your dream, and if you keep pushing, something would definitely change in your favor. Ankit, RCB, and Chelsea FC. Before I come to you, I'd like to say big up to all those in the chat. I see my brother Blue Klaus TV. I see Tommy, the CFC fan, and I see Mikhail, a wonderful person, always here to support. And I also see Elias CFC. Greetings to you all, and don't forget you can also join the panel. The link is in the Twitter chat group. Ankit, what would you say is the lesson to learn from Eduardo Mendy's life story?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me here, Coachella, and great channel, Chelsea Perspective. So yes, Edouard Mendy is like a pure inspiration. Like, a lot of times we kind of say that, okay, this guy is a legend, really inspirational, been through a tough period of, say, a couple of years. But you're someone who's basically had lost everything, like Tyron already mentioned, right? So on his personal front, he had such a great tragedy at a very young age. And then, like, if you see it for his footballing history, I think in 2011, I think it's, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's Le Havre. Le Havre is the club that, he was part of.
Yeah.
And, like, he was probably, just kind of in the B team and in the academy, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then he moved to, I think, Schoberg. Schoberg is how you pronounce the next club that he moved to. And like Tyron mentioned, right, the reason why his agent said, thank you, and he just said bye, is like he had offers from French clubs. Obviously, they weren't in the top division in the French, Liga. And his agent, for some reason, thought that he would get a better deal. And he probably convinced Mendy, like, no, you got to get a better deal. Let's not go for it. And they decided not to sign. And he was already, probably not getting much game time there, plus the fact that his contract was ending. So he ended up obviously with no contract.
Yeah.
And then 1 year he was, I think more than a year, right? He was probably with not only without a club, as in without any job whatsoever, right? He lined up, basically for jobs and things like that, which is part and parcel for any youngster's, life at some point, yes. But the difference here is, what he decided to do? He decided to go back to his original childhood club, which is Le Havre again, right? And he trained with them for 1 full year without any cash. Like, he was obviously, with his dad not being there and them not getting a lot of, financial help, they decided to actually support him. And he was there for 1 full year with them training for free. And that's when he was picked by Marseille's B team. And I think in Marseille, if I'm not wrong, in one of his interviews, he mentioned he was rubbing shoulders with Michy Batshuayi in 2015, right? So that was his initial period. And of course, Marseille had, like, others who were kind of towards the end of the career. So him rubbing shoulders with them inspired him even further. So you're someone who basically, woke up from nowhere and then took inspiration from his colleagues in whatever environment he was. And then within, like, no time, just proved it on the pitch. Like, you got to prove with your work, right? He kept on doing what he did, and then he got up, to Liga, and where, like Tyrone mentioned, like, he had a fantastic season, especially the last year, the year before he signed, where, I think Rennes were, suddenly in the top 3 in Liga after a long time, and he played Europa League. I think he did not do so well, I think, in Liga, but the difference was the Europa League, where Petr Cech and I forgot the assistant manager, goalkeeping coach for us, Lolichon, was it him? I think two of them kind of, identified him. Obviously, Cech being from there originally, and that's where they really, saw that this guy could do things, and he came. Imagine here's someone who's not played any Champions League game ever. He's played like 10 national team games. And coming to Chelsea, replacing like the most expensive goalkeeper, most expensive player ever for us, Kepa, with the pressure that he's had to deal with. And in the first half of the season, like, he went about his business so quietly. Like, everyone said that Mendy doesn't save so much, etc. But he is someone that you take inspiration because he's not kind of vocal, almost in the mold of N'Golo Kante, where he is he's vocal just on the pitch. He's not vocal off the pitch, but there's so much that he's dealt with. Again, similar to N'Golo Kante in his personal life.
Wow, brilliant. I sincerely do appreciate you and Tyrone taking some time to do a research and help us, take us through the life story of Eduardo Mendy. It's amazing. He's amazing to have survived all the things he's gone through. And again, that's a lesson, like I said before, to all of us to never give up, keep pushing, and whatever we're going after will surely change for better for us. And like Elias CFC said, Mendy is our signing of the season. And that is the truth. That is, you can argue that, you can compare him with every other signing that we have at the club. There are so many reasons to argue that this guy is truly our signing of the season. I sincerely do appreciate you and Tyrone taking the time to do a research to help us understand his life story better. Tyrone, you wanted to say something?
He was robbed. In my opinion, he was robbed of the player of the season. I think he was robbed, honestly, because I mean Mason Mount and him were. I would say it's pretty close, but I think for me, I think he edged it over Mount, because I think Mendy. I didn't want to bring up these stats, but Mendy has faced 78 shots in the Premier League, and he has stopped 55 of them, which means that's 70.5% of it.
Amazing.
And it's not like there's those some simple shots, like the shots that he had to face against Fulham, the lead shot, the amount of shots where he nearly went in the top of the goal, things like that. And people don't really appreciate those little things. But if he didn't do those few things, we wouldn't even be in the top 4 right now, because we would have conceded a lot more goals. And he conceded about I think it would be 23 or probably 25 shots in 37 or no, not 37, 31 appearances. So that's good, especially with the fact that he has 16 clean sheets in the Premier League and the most clean sheets in the Champions League, creating history.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you very much again, Tyrone. I sincerely do appreciate you taking the time to do research, and that's not easy to do. My brother, Clouds TV, I appreciate your presence, man, and thank you very much for finding the time to be here, because I know how difficult it can be for you. I know you quite well, and I know it's not easy for you to make out time to be here. So the question for you is, having heard Eduardo Mendy's life story, what lessons do you think, or what lesson do you think each of us can learn from him as an individual?
Thanks for the opportunity, Coachella, my brother.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for having me on your platform. Also, thanks for the guys in the chat, obviously being my brother, and then Tyrone, and then
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Also, big ups to J Chico Chibike. You're welcome to the stream, and also welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Go ahead, Nee. Sorry.
And also big up to all the wonderful fans on the chat, Mikhail and Baggy TV, and then Tommy and CFC. Thank you guys for being here, helping out with the stream. Yeah, it's Eduardo Mendy story. It's a pity. It's a pity for him. I tried to make a little more research. Some also it has to be with the audio and video on YouTube, and also, but you guys have said it all. You guys have said majority of what I want to say, and also I don't want to go beyond what you guys are saying, but a lot of players in our team has gone through lots of problems like that, like Rudiger, just like the other day I was trying to say. But yeah, Eduardo's Mendy story, it's an inspirational story for every up and coming person, no matter what field you find yourself. Like I said on my outro all the time, Leo Desperados, hang on to hope. There is nothing impossible in anyone's life. And I also tell people, I hope everybody's listening. This is what the builders say. The stones that the builders threw away later becomes the cornerstone. So when I don't know if people know about construction.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. Should I say should I say idiom or what do you call it?
Yeah, idiomatic expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stones that the builders threw away later on become the cornerstone, because when you're doing the construction, those little stones that is in your plastering, if it's not making your surface very smooth, you find that you see the masonry taking them out and throwing them on the side all the time. It gets one corner, it builds up, and it becomes a very strong compact in that corner that you can never get rid of. It's very difficult because they take you aside. In human relationship, it's they try to reject you. Let them reject you. Very soon you become the pillar that no one can even break down. That is what Eduardo Mendy has become. And then let's see. This is a guy that has master in goalkeeping fundamentals or basic. So he's not just someone that could not find himself a job. He lost his job. He wasn't having the hope. He was being all the time being as a second person or third fiddle to other goalkeepers. But when his time is up, he's too tall. And I don't want to say that Eduardo Mendy is a Chelsea signing of the season. He is the signing of the best signing of the Premier League.
Arguably,
no doubt about that.
Yes,
it's the best signing of the Premier League that has ever happened. A goalkeeper from where he was being picked from where he was with that amount of money. I don't know, I think of 30 something or 40 million compared to Arisa Balaga, how much it cost? 70 million.
70 million, yeah.
70 million.
Yeah.
12 games in the Premier League, 9 clean sheet. Unbelievable for a goalkeeper of his standard. And no one else is Senegalese. I mean, a Senegalese, an African came in. He's very hungry for success, and here it is. Everybody that is watching the stream, and you know the story of Eduardo Mendy, take that inspiration, hang on to hope, and never give up.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nia. I appreciate you taking time to contribute. Another thing is that before his signing, there were arguments, most especially in the press. Some say he's not worth the 20 million that we paid for. Or how much did we pay for him again, Tyron? It was 22 million, right? So there were arguments that he's not worth it. Some say he's not a world-class goalkeeper, and I think he's proven otherwise. And Tyron, I want to start with you. What do you think about Chelsea signing him? So but because we know, we've established, he's shown to us that his signing was an absolute steal for Chelsea Football Club. So what do you have to say about that, Tyron?
Obviously everybody knew that Chelsea were going to look for a goalkeeper, especially with the way that the season started, especially with that mistake that Kepa made against Liverpool and everything. Now, when I heard that we were linked with Mendy, I did my research, and I think a lot of people did as well, on his weaknesses, because every goalkeeper has a weakness. Yeah. And one weakness that I realized was that when it comes on to sometimes he's poor when it comes on to coming out, and we tend to see him do that, where sometimes he comes out too early. It happened the way he conceded the goal against Leeds. It happened against West Brom when he came out and he was the ball was stripped over his head and everything. But other than that, I saw him as a great goalkeeper, and the fact that he was so cheap is okay, Chelsea tends to have good luck when it comes on to signing these cheap players who aren't really known really. And Mendy was proven me right, and especially Petr Cech as well, because Petr Cech saw faith in him, was scouting him as well. So it just showed that his price didn't really matter, and people would obviously say that because he wasn't really known of really like Onana probably is known, or what's his name? I think it's Mike Maigna, who went to AC Milan as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Tyron. I appreciate you again. Always contributing from an intellectual perspective. I do appreciate that. My brother DJ Sav, welcome to the stream, brother. DJ, are you there? All right, while we wait for DJ, I'm gonna put the link to the panel in the chat so that whoever wants to join can join and contribute. Okay, it is democracy here. You have the right to join the panel and express yourself the way you feel like is right. There you go. Nizayan, I'll
Yeah.
start with you. What do you think about Chelsea's signing of Eduardo Mendy? We already established that that's absolute steal. It's his Chelsea signing of the season. If not, there's a way you said it, EPL signing of the season. So what you have to say about Chelsea signing him?
When I heard that Chelsea was looking up for Edouard Mendy, I did not hesitate. I wasn't worried at all, because at that moment, that human being that we have in the goalpost was giving me heart attack and panic moment anytime we
All
play.
of us.
All of us. So when I had Eduardo Mendy and I saw his height and I watched the little clip about Eduardo Mendy, I felt like I'm safe now. I'm safe now until we got him in starting 11, and I saw his capability and what he was doing, commanding his goalpost, and then giving directions to the defenders when to attack and when to leave the ball for him to be able to take over, and how he controls the defense. I was very amazed. I was very, very amazed. And I think Chelsea have signed a wonderful player that will be in the club for a long time, just like Peter Cech have been for Chelsea Football Club.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you for putting it the way you did. My brother DJ Saab, welcome to the stream, brother.
Big up, guys. How you guys doing? You all right?
Absolutely, yeah. Always good to have you. So
Great to be on.
Just to bring you par with all of us and to catch up with us where we are now at the stream. So first, Tyron and Ankit of RCB and CFC fan channel, they helped us. They walked us through Eduardo Mendes' life story, and I believe you know the story already. So the question is, what do you think as individuals? What lesson can we learn from Eduardo Mendes' life story? How far he's come in life and what he's achieved so far.
Do you know what? When we got him and the situation he was in, literally had no job or nothing, and obviously when we picked him up, it was obviously he was obviously with Lou when we got him. Obviously, when he came to us, I thought his actually came into that top goal. I'm glad we actually got him, but it just tells us what we can learn in terms of when things are tough and you think things are down in life, and you think one opportunity comes along, and it's a big opportunity like this.
Have we lost him?
Yeah, it looks like he had a pretty bad connection, but I think I'm picking up what he's saying.
Hello?
Is it the same person with the same?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to remove one.
Do you know what? I bugged out.
Go ahead.
Thanks, mate. I bugged out on one of them. I think. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, crystal clear.
Yeah. Sorry about that. My internet
problem.
kind of went on me a little bit there. Yeah. So for what he's achieved, for his opportunity to come to us and done what he's gone and done is amazing. It just tells you when that opportunity comes along, and it was you grab it with both your hands and you just take it, and he's done that. And I have to say, he's been, for me, probably our signing of the season. People talk about Havertz, people talk about Werner, people talk about obviously Silva's up there as well, coming in. But this guy's been absolutely a revelation for us. And long may it continue. And I hope he has many, many successes with Chelsea. And we keep him for a long, long, long time, because I think this goalkeeper is just only going to get better than what he.
Very well put, DJ Saab. And unfortunately, it looks like we've lost him again. But whenever he's back, we'll add him back. So another aspect, one of the topics we have lined up for today is his contributions in the UEFA Champions League final. Because obviously, the talk in the media, the buzz around the whole Champions League win revolves around Mason Mount's delicious pass to Kai Havertz and of course Kai Havertz well taking goal. And the truth is, Eduardo Mendy, he didn't have much to do during the game, but there were two crucial contributions that he made during the game. I think DJ is back. DJ, can you hear us right now?
Yeah, I'm back, guys. I don't know what's happening to my internet. It's happening like this a couple of days ago, and apparently they were doing some work around here.
Okay.
And it completely messed up everybody's thing around here at my house. So I'm hoping. Sorry, I keep bugging out on you guys.
No problem.
Hopefully this will be better now.
Understood, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead. Are you true? Because
So yeah, it just shows. I mean, as I said,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, I believe we all understood what DJ Sir was saying, and he pretty much covered the two questions that were asked before he joined the stream. He covered what we can learn from his life story, that you should never give up in whatever you're doing in life. If it's not working out at the time, it will most definitely click if you keep pushing. And he also talked about his signing, how I would just my own way. It was an absolute steal for Chelsea Football Club to get him at that price. So what I was saying before DJ came back, joined the stream again, was Eduardo Mendes' contributions in the UEFA Champions League final, because the buzz around the whole win and in the media is Mason Mount's beautiful pass, well-threaded pass to Kai Havertz, and of course Kai Havertz well-taken goal. Nobody talks about there are two crucial contributions that Eduardo Mendy made during the game that most people didn't see, of which it is very common with football fans to just praise the guy that made the last pass to the person that scored the goal and something like that. So I'm going to start with you, Ankit from RCB Chelsea Fan TV. Were you able to pick out the two crucial contributions that Eduardo Mendy made during the game?
For sure. Like, in fact, like I would say that more than two. The way that we played in the final, like both the teams had a high line of defense, right? As in that was something which took Man City by surprise, us having a high line of defense.
Yes.
So with that, Edouard Mendy was key, because if you see, like, our wing backs were right on the lines, right? So basically they were very wide. So Edouard Mendy with his long passes to Ben Chilwell and Reece James, that's something that one of them was crucial, because at the end of the day, the goal came out of that. Mendy to Chilwell to Mount to Havertz. That's what had happened, right? If Mendy hadn't put the ball to Chilwell, who was actually flanking the left flank, probably, we wouldn't have had that goal. And that's basically a fact, like just simply put, right? The other one that I can think of, like right now, is the long ball that the other goalkeeper, Ederson, had to Raheem Sterling. I think he had an excellent ball on the left flank, and Raheem Sterling was probably, going, and Reece James had a tackle in, but he did not tackle him very clearly. And Edouard Mendy got the last touch, and it was a corner, right? So there also, I think Sterling would have been clear. So I think these were two defining moments from what I could remember. Of course, his positioning is key. Like, the entire defense was high, and we were able to defend the way we did because of Mendy being so good with his positioning and feet. If that wasn't the case, like, imagine, like, again, I'm not going to slander Kepa here, but the fact is, if Kepa was there, I don't see us keeping such a high line of defense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's something, we couldn't have had that counter-attacking kind of game the way we did if we had not kept close, our defense and midfield close with the Man City, players in the middle of the park.
Yeah, great observation there. Even though I've watched the game on like multiple times, but I did not pick out that where he had the last touch and he went to a corner kick. It became a corner kick for Manchester City. So great point there. What about you, Tyron? Any did you pick out any Eduardo Mendy's contributions in the game?
Yeah. I did. And RCB actually said one that I actually noticed. It was the fact that his ball to Chilwell led to the goal, and and if you're going to use Edouard Mendy, you can probably use Andreas Christensen as well, because he made the pass back to Edouard Mendy, and then
Mendy was it Christensen or
I think if it's not Christensen, it's
Ashley.
I think it's Ashley or Christensen.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he made it back to him. And also what RCB said about the pass that Ederson made and Sterling was in, he actually did get the last touch on it, and he also put pressure on Sterling because Sterling had to go near to the line to ensure that he could probably take a shot, but Mendy closed him down and everything. And yeah, you're right. When a lot of people don't really like to rewatch the game because they say if you rewatch the game, it doesn't really have the same impact as it was when you're watching it the first time as a live broadcast.
Yeah.
But I disagree with that in a way. Some people do have their preferences, but I like to rewatch the game because sometimes you can see things, and it's not only with football. Let's say you read something, like you read like a novel or an article, and like you go back and you read it again, you find something that actually didn't even think about. So in a way, it's kind of good to rewatch the game because you see some aspects. Because I actually realized that we actually play with a high line, and sometimes Man City were trying to equal what we were trying to do, and they started to play with Zinchenko as that little center midfielder that left mid as well. So in a way, we had to switch things around as well. But Mendy did offer two important things, and that was prevent Sterling from getting the ability to shoot comfortably and also leading to the goal.
Very well said. Thank you very much for taking the time to add that to what Ankit have said already. Yeah, Nick, can you be patient with me? Let me have Bobby catch up.
No problem.
If you don't mind.
No problem.
Bobby, please, welcome to the stream. It's always a pleasure to have you and your opinion. Bobby, are you there?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on your stream.
Absolutely.
I saw you live, and I said I'll join you because I hadn't joined you before. So it's a privilege to be on your stream.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine, Bobby. And I'm going to
good
ask
evening
you
to everyone else.
Oh, good evening. Good evening.
Bobby. I'm going to ask you a question to help
Good
you
evening.
catch up with where we are. The question is, I believe you know the story of Eduardo Mendy very well, what he's overcome in life, where he is today, and what he's achieved as a footballer. And the question is, what lesson do you think we that is each of us as individuals can learn from Eduardo Mendy's life story, and what do you have to say about Chelsea signing him? Already he's established that his signing, you can say, was an absolute steal. I mean, you can argue also that he's Chelsea's best signing, and as Neve from Blue Clouds TV said, he is Premier League signing of the season. So over to you, Bobby. I hope you understood my question.
Yes, I do. And funnily enough, I just finished watching a program on Petr Cech and how great he was. I think it's something like 100. They focus on his first 100 Premier League games, and they just told his story. And I see a lot of similarities between Mendy and Cech. And considering Cech scouted him and picked him out, I guess he looked for someone in his own image, as it were. Mendy is definitely one of the world's best goalkeepers. I'll go as far as to say I have a lot of empathy for these guys that come through difficulty and get to the top, and it's also a lot of testament to their mental strength. Everything about winning starts in the mind. And if your mind is strong, your body's strong. If your mind is strong, your will is strong. And this guy has the will and the mental strength. He's also got the physicality to be an excellent goalkeeper. But you see, it's not just about physicality. It's about your reflexes, your training, and your technique. Mendy does a lot for Chelsea's defense. Without him, I heard somebody saying that without him, we couldn't play as high a line as we do. I would say there's a lot of truth in that. Although having said that, also the speed of our centre backs like Rudiger and our wing backs also, helps that. But Mendy is a very, very important and integral part to Chelsea's defensive stability, just like Petr Cech was. And sadly, we got a bit confused with Czech when we did the whole Courtois situation. You know, I understand it. We had got Courtois as a young, budding goalkeeper, and he kind of developed slightly faster than we had thought he would. I think we should be careful not to make the same mistake with Mendy.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Always very good to listen to you talk football, and also most especially when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. I appreciate you taking the time to give us that wonderful answer. And another question to help you get up to par with where we are in the stream is the truth is after the win, after UEFA Champions League win, the buzz, the talk in the media, everything revolves around Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, and people hardly talk about Eduardo Mendy's contributions in the game. So, but we know we know quite Ankit and also Tyrone have mentioned quite a few things, contributions that he made during the game from their own observations. We want to hear from you, what contributions do you think that Eduardo Mendy made in the UEFA Champions League final that helped us beat Manchester City? Over to you, Bobby.
Sure, thanks for that. I mean, first of all, I have to make one point where you mentioned that, everybody talks about the glamour boys, really, Havertz, Mount, and rightly so. And recently they're beginning to talk about Kante, which I'm sure he's horrified at.
Kante also.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't like that, to be honest. I think there's a lot to be said to be slightly less focused on, especially as a goalkeeper. It's good to be slightly in the background because it just helps you focus on your game and develop. And just like Petr Cech said, he said that when he was playing, he never focused and he didn't like any focus to be on what he was doing. And it's only now that he's retired, now he can enjoy looking back and all the accolades and things like that. So I hope that's going to be the same for Mendy. But as for the Champions League final, what he did for us was in many occasions, Mendy has this way, just like Cech did. I'm sorry, I keep referring to him, but he takes pressure off the defense. When the balls are coming in, whether they're aerial balls, whether they're shots, whether they're deflections, the way he just picks it off out of the air, it makes it look easy, but it's not. I'll give you an example. When Sergio Aguero came on, there was a point where he was clean through, and he laughably tried to chip Mendy. Again, he didn't learn from the first time. He tried to chip Mendy. And the way Mendy plucked that ball out of the air, nobody, not even the commentators, really spoke about it. He made it look easy. But trust me, if that was Kepa, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, please, I don't want to slate Kepa, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would have been beaten by that. You know, Mendy is a very special goalkeeper. He hardly makes mistakes, which is how I judge goalkeepers. He does things that I find scary, but now I'm getting used to him. I'm beginning to understand that when he plays with the ball, it's because he's good with the ball at his feet. And he also takes away pressure by doing that. I just think, all in all, there'll be so many other clubs looking at Chelsea now, especially our back line, especially with Mendy, and they'll just be green with envy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bobby. Again, that's why I always love to listen to your inputs wherever you are contributing. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer that question. And DJ Sir, brother, I see you, and I understand this thing happens to all of us. Nobody is exempt from it. So I understand. And whenever you can join, I will always add you to the stream. Thank you very much for your patience, Lee. I'm coming back to you again with the question: what observation did you make during the game? What contributions did you see that Eduardo Mendy made that helped us win the UEFA Champions League?
Oh, is that to me or?
Yes, to you, Nee. Sorry.
Okay,
And
okay.
I said, remember I said I thanked you for your patience
Okay,
letting me help
absolutely.
Bobby. Yeah.
It's patience is something that I have, but sometimes when it gets too, no, I can always take patience.
Yes,
Yeah.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. Thank you. My observation in Mendes, the only pink point. I only have one pink point. If it wasn't Mendy in the goalpost, I tell you what, that ball would have ended up being in the back of the net. Erratic Rudiger, crazy Rudiger. What? How can I describe Rudiger? That's a fear factor Rudiger.
I call him Rude Boy Rudiger.
Rude boy Rudiger. Yeah,
Rudiger.
the great intersection from what's his name, Phil Foden. If it was Kepa Arrizabalaga, that guy would be on the ground already, and that ball would have flew over his head. But Mendy kept his eyes on the ball. When the intersection came, you saw his eyes. I saw that slow motion, about 360 slow motion. The pixels was just going down. You can see Mendy's eyes was straight on the ball, not on the player's leg, but he was looking at the ball, so he did not move. Just like Kun Aguero tried the penanka on him, his eyes were always on the ball. He doesn't move before the ball is being kicked. That is what Arrizabalaga does all the time when the ball is being kicked. He's always running to the right hand side, not focusing. He focused his eye on the human body, but not on the
Not
ball.
against Frankfurt. Not against Frankfurt.
Right, not on the ball. So I was that movement, that save alone from Mendy. I'll say that was one of the best save of this. I mean, of the competition, because that was one of the clear chances that City had to be able to get a goal, and they couldn't. Mendy stood there, he stood tall, and grabbed that ball.
That reminds me of Petr Cech, because that's what Petr Cech said he did in the 2012 final. With Robin's penalty, he didn't look at him. He was focusing on the ball.
On the ball.
Yeah, and that's one thing with Mendy. It happened against Atletico Madrid as well. When there was a deflection, he was going the wrong way, and he moved. He made a quick movement. He was like a spider. I don't know why. He just spinned around in a roulette. So because he was wondering if he was gonna go in.
This thing is just a schoolboy thing. When I was playing in high school football and college football, they used to tell me, keep your eyes on the ball. Keep your eyes. That is what what's his name? Kepa cannot do. He reads the body of the player, because most of the time, let me tell you, when they teach me how to play penalty shoot, they tell you deceive the keeper with your body. Let the body go on the left hand side, and if you're a right-footed player, kick the ball to the right-hand side. Because the keeper, most of the time, they read your body, and then your body goes there, you imbalance your body to the left side, and then you kick the ball to the right-hand side, always trying to aim on the last corner of the pole. Keeper, look at the ball. That is all. That's the best thing Eduardo Mendy does.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nee, for taking the time to also give us your perspective or your opinion on that question. And let's take just a minute to say congratulations to Rude Boy Rudiger, where Baggy brought us the news that he just had a baby girl. Congratulations to him.
He did not have a baby. He didn't have the baby.
What did you say? His
he
wife
didn't have the baby.
So his wife had the baby. Like in America, you say we had a baby. You don't say my wife had a baby. Exactly. It's unfortunate the way we say it here. But anyway, the fact is, congratulations to Antonio Rudiger for the newborn baby to his family. Bobby, I'm coming back to you. Are you still with us, Bobby?
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing about Mendy. Following on from what Nee was saying, a lot of people, where you see that Mendy is a great goalkeeper, not only does he utilize his physique and deal with aerial balls, but Mendy's good with his feet, and he's also good on the ground. Perfect example of that was the sort of blindsided shot taken by Benzema of Real Madrid in the second leg. That was low, it was hit hard, and it was fast. And Mendy still got down and made the save. He does these things that forwards have studied him, or managers have studied him, and they've tried to test him. and every time they've tested him, it's never worked. He is a good goalkeeper. You need to do something special or catch him in an impossible situation to beat him. That's why I know the FA Cup is a long distant memory now, and it was probably a good thing that we didn't win it, because somehow it may have fueled the determination for us to win the Champions League. And if I had a choice, I'll go for the Champions League every time.
Yes,
But that aside,
absolutely.
that aside, that shot by Tielemans in the FA Cup, I mean, we will never
Oh
know.
my Lord.
But I sincerely believe that if it was Mendy in goal with the same effort that Kepa made, simply because he's physically taller, he would have stopped that shot.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
very
have
much, Bobby.
nightmares of that.
Before I come back with the question I had for you, I was going to say, one other observation that I made during the game, because I think most of us here have talked about the pass to Ben Chilwell, who also passed the ball to Mount with a single touch. That was awesome to see. Towards the final minutes of the game, I think 84th or 83rd minute, I'm not sure which, that was a cross from Sergio Aguero that Phil Foden and what's his name, Gabriel Jesus, they were waiting to pounce on it. And our defenders were already, they moved to defend the ball, and those two players were alone. And Eduardo Mendy had to make a high claim and stopped the ball from getting to Phil Foden and Gabriel Jesus. That was not easy to you had to rewatch the game to see that it was important that he stopped the cross from reaching those two players, because they were not offside, number one, and they would have just faced an open net, and it could have been maybe an equalizing goal for Manchester City, and I'm glad he did what he did. So Bobby, I want us to go ahead.
Yep, I was going to say before you ask your question, you know, I'm so glad you're saying this, because I am so sick and fed up with how the media keep banging on about, Pep Guardiola, he overthought this, he overdid this, he should have played with a CDM. Nonsense. They had their chances. It's just we snuffed them out. They were beaten hands down. It had nothing to do with his selection. Pep's selection was good enough. He selected that team because he wanted to limit the aggression of people like Mason Mount and Kai Havertz up front. Although not Havertz, Timo Werner. Although Werner still gave them a torrid time. So he was focused on that, and he wanted fluidity in his midfield, not stagnation. He had to do something different, and he did. But it wasn't good enough, because Chelsea countered it. And if only we can hear that sometimes from the media, they never want to give Chelsea credit. It's sickening, really, because, you know, that game, as those of you that's watched it over and over again, you'll start to see that, wow, it wasn't so much that Pep made a mistake, but that Chelsea were too good, especially defensively.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, right? So I'll just come in.
Go ahead.
So with the media, right? As in Bobby is absolutely right. Like, the difference is something that the media especially forget, that there's something called difference in football. Like, just replace the roles, right? Would maybe Ruben Dias and John Stones had made that clearances which Rudiger and Azpilicueta made? I think probably in the last 10 minutes, Azpilicueta had a great clearance just in front of Mendy. And Rudiger, of course, the tackle. I don't think so. Like, the defense is something what we were on that day was probably world class. Like, I've seen
even
them,
the blocks made by Christensen.
Oh,
he
yeah.
made about 3 or 4 key blocks.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Pep made. They're making it sound like, Pep threw away the opportunity to win the Champions League. No, he even came out and said he gave it all. They gave it all they've got. It's just Chelsea's defense was too good. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Thank you
But
very
with
much
it,
for bringing that up, and I'm glad we're talking about it right now because had Pep won that game,
You
it
would
would
have
have
said
been
that it
all
was
over the
perfect
media that
plan, perfect plan.
Pep is a genius, how he's a
yeah,
genius,
Yeah,
how he's shown Thomas Tuchel that he's better than him, and Manchester City being the best team in Europe. But he's
yeah.
lost now, and the question is, how long are they going to keep complaining? Because we've beaten them 3 times in how many weeks? It's just 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks before the
I think
game.
6 weeks or so
Exactly,
is
and each time we
the
beat them,
total.
there's always an excuse. It is always, oh, this guy
Yeah,
can start, the other guy didn't start, so he can just they can just say whatever they want. We beat them
they couldn't
fair
use the
and
excuse that we
square.
didn't play against Diaz and Stones. They couldn't use the excuse that they didn't have their best pairing at the back.
Exactly, exactly.
They had their first choice goalkeeper as well, so they can use
Yeah,
that excuse as well. But
yeah,
I mean, they're not gonna give the I've seen this and I've already accepted that they're never gonna give credit to Chelsea. If we win a game, it's gonna be that, oh, we got lucky. They didn't turn up, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. So I
yeah.
mean, when they don't give me credit, and sometimes, ESPN is one of those. It's what is the main one, especially. You have like two people who probably might give you credit, and that's probably Frank Leboeuf and Greg Burley, who is one of the most hated Chelsea former players. So
Yep.
I mean, only those two people will actually give credit, and that's what he did. He did say that Tuchel, did great. He proved everybody wrong and everything, but people like Stephen Nicol and those type of other pundits, or what I said this, I'm not gonna call them pundits because they make it look too easy, and
Hmm.
punditry isn't that easy, and it's not that, it's like what they say, that's just it, and it doesn't matter what they say, it's the truth. So I don't expect them to ever give credit to Chelsea if they actually win a game. The only way it would have been is if both teams had scored a goal and then Chelsea had won based on an other goal. Most likely that's the best way. But at the end of the day, Pep didn't have the wrong ideas, because if it had worked out, people they would have the story would have been better, and it would have been that, oh, his plan worked. Having an entire attacking team was perfect. But it's not. They're not gonna give that credit to Chelsea though.
True. Thank you very much, Taron, for that addition to the discussion. Bobby, before I let you, I don't know if you can see the question on the screen, or the concern of Tommy, the CFC fan that's on the screen right now. Before
I
I let
can't
you,
read it very well because I'm talking to you with my phone. So if you could
okay,
read it.
I'll read it out to you.
Yeah.
He says, "I hope we don't get Donnarumma because we have Mendy." And before I let you come in,
We're
Bobby,
not getting him.
Tommy, I'd let you know that I don't think Donnarumma fits the profile of goalkeeper that we want at Chelsea at the moment because
It's on the PSG
he's
usually.
not good with his feet. Okay, Bobby, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, that's an observation. I mean, I must confess, I haven't watched Donnarumma extremely closely. I know of him, I have seen his games, but for me to say that I watched him to the point that I could observe his weakness with using his feet, I'll have to take other people's words for it. I just think
Mm,
that in terms of the goalkeeper, what we should be looking for is a good number two. And
Yeah.
I would be looking at people like Craig Forster and so on, somebody to back up Mendy. You see, sometimes you've got to be content with what you've got. We made that mistake with Petr Cech, albeit I understand why the mistake was made because we had a young kid on our books that was ripping up trees for Atletico Madrid, and we had to see if he could be even better than our legendary goalkeeper. I'm sure till today, well, the club regret it because they brought him back to become a sporting director. I don't think we should make that mistake with Mendy. We don't need to. We need to get a backup. Personally, I don't think Kepper is good enough. I really admire his attitude, how he celebrated and how he showed himself to be a team player. And, if it's affordable, if he can stay and be a number three goalkeeper, fine. But I believe in realities. And the reality is Mendy number one, and we need another keeper. I don't know if Caballero is staying or going, but that's just how it is. I don't think we need Donnarumma. I know this is
We're not
overstretching
getting
the
him
mark.
either.
I know this is overstretching the answer, and you haven't sort of brought this to the table. But I have the same attitude about our centre backs as well. And I've noticed people saying, "Oh, Zuma should go." Zuma, no. I think you have to have that balance. You've got to have the chosen ones, the best ones, and then have those that are backups that can come in. Do you know one unique thing about Chelsea right now? Every single one of our centre backs can be rotated seamlessly. You don't even notice the rotation. That shows you have a fine-tuned unit. Why do we want to spoil that? Take away Zuma. For who? You know what I mean? So that's just. I know I've gone too far with the answer.
No, but I understand. But it makes sense. The transition was seamless, so we understand. It helps you get across your point. So, Nisayon.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to say about Tommy, the CFC fans' concern about the possibility of Donnarumma coming to Chelsea?
It's not likely. It's not likely. It's just one of those clickbaits for people to click on. Donnarumma, its profile and style of play, as you said, and I've already said it before in the past, he's not a player that is really good with his foot. With Chelsea and the coaches that we've had, from Lampard and the inclusion of the German engineer, the German tactician, likes to have his build-up from behind the back with that involved the goalkeeper. You should be able to be good on both right and left foot, and then be able to. I mean, he's good with his long range passes, but then I'm not so good about his short passes range and stuff like that. To be able to carry on, have that momentum to build up from the behind. But who knows? He could be a good player when he gets to the club. But I think we have to give the 70 million euro player a chance also to fight Mendy as a number one position. We don't want any, because if we let Arisa Balaga go, we're not going to cover that much that we spend on him. We're not going to get it. No doubt about that. We're not going to get that much of money that we spend on Arisa Balaga. And then also this guy coming in, he's not going to come easy. It's going to be very expensive. Although he's coming on free, people think it's free, but it's not that free. There's a lot of money involved in players that we see them to be coming as a free transfer. There's a lot of money involved. And then also his wages will go higher. We can't have that much of a goalkeeper taking so much money. Just like the Gia taking almost about 300 or 400 thousand pounds a week, and for him to be on the bench, because now you cannot bench Edouard Mendy in any point or shape. He's so good to the extent that you cannot bench him. And then Donnarumma is a keeper that requires a first team football, not lots of minutes. Matches. You can't put him on the bench and put him for your FA Cup and those community shield things and the Carabao Cup, because how many times do we play those competitions? Once in a while. Even when the competition starts, the FA Cup starts, we don't get involved until it gets to the crucial stages where the big teams gets involved. So buy him, put him on the bench. I think it will be an L to the Chelsea Football Club.
So I was going to ask you from the your response to the question. I was going to ask you. It sounds like you're concerned that we're going to sell. What's his name again? Kepa Arrizabalaga, and in the process, we're going to lose some money. Are you concerned that if we're selling, we'll lose some money?
Well, I'm not really concerned that we're definitely not gonna lose. We're definitely not gonna get that much money that we bought him for. We're not gonna get it back. We all know that. But what I'm saying is, the guy is already used to the Premier League. Why wouldn't we give him the chance and also let him fight his position as the number one, since he's already there? We don't want to be struggling or thinking about a goalkeeping situation right now, which we don't need. We don't have a good keeping problem right now. Eduardo Mendy is there.
Can I ask you a question, Nate?
Yes, sir, you
I
can.
fully understand what you're saying, and there's a lot of value to what you're saying. But I have a little concern. The African Nations Cup is coming up in January.
Yeah.
Now, that would then mean that for however long, I mean, let's just presume that Mendy's team, sorry, where's he from again? I can't remember.
Senegal.
He plays for Senegal.
Okay, yeah, Senegal. Now, they're usually good. So we can assume that he's going to be away for at least a month because they're going to go
Yeah.
far in
Definitely.
the competition.
Definitely.
Now, that means, I mean, that's a crucial time in the Premier League. Is Kepa, I don't know, I suppose hopefully we'll still hang on to Caballero, but is Kepa really going to be able to hold his own on a cold January afternoon? And the frost is thick, the ball is sometimes sticking a bit on the ground, the bullying midfielders and attackers from the opposition are coming in for high balls, just like the Sheffield Uniteds of this world. And is he really going to be the man to hold sway and get us points at that time? I have my doubts. I still think that the English Premier League is a physical league, whether we like it or not. Sometimes some less physical players, do some special things, but they do it because they have a lot of physical players around them, allowing them to do it. In the goalkeeping position, you're on your own. I don't know if Kepa is going to be the answer for us. He's good for cup competitions, perhaps, but I wouldn't give him that level of responsibility.
Yeah, the truth is, I'm not concerned about Kepa leaving the club. And if he's going to leave the club, let him leave right now. Because the problem is, the longer he stays, the closer he gets to the end of his contract, which means he will leave on a free, possibly, or less. Or the club will not be able to get a sizable fee from his sale if they wait towards the end of his contract. So it is better that he's sold at this point, that he still have quite a number of years left in his contract. Because if you leave it very late in his contract, you're going to get the chances of you getting a sizable fee for his sale. So I'm not really concerned about him leaving now. In fact, I'd rather us get Donnarumma for free, on a free, and then have sell Kepa Arrizabalaga right now, because we'd get more money than we'll get if we wait longer from his sale. So, but Nia, I appreciate you answering the question that in a way that we had to answer a follow-up question, address a concern that your question that your response to the question brought to light.
What I was trying to say is, I know the African Cup of Nations will be there. It will be just a 1 month thing, and then I don't think there's so much pressure in the Premier League concerning the number of games that we play in January. I'm not so sure if we're gonna have that 2-3 games in a week or 2 games in a week. If that that time comes, I'm not so sure. I know those that the pressure is within the November, December, that moment. That's when there's so much pressure in the Premier League. But then we all have our doubt with Arrizabalaga, but we also trust Willie Caballero. But if we if we have to go and sign this AC Milan guy, Donnarumma, because of just that period that Eduardo Mendy will be gone, it's a good thing. But we have to remember, once Eduardo Mendy comes back, he will take back his position. And then what do we do with Donnarumma? Is he going to be on the bench? He will not be happy being on the bench because he's going to come with a big price tag, big wages. Then he'll be sitting down just for the Carling Cup or maybe Community Shield. For those competitions, he's a good keeper. He can help, but I'll prefer if we have to find out
anyway.
What was that?
He wouldn't accept that anyway because he's Italy's number one.
Right.
You know,
So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
you're right, Bobby. I don't think he would.
yeah,
Donnarumma will accept being.
that's what I was trying. That's what I was trying
Yeah,
to
the
say.
second staying on the bench for Eduardo Mendy to start games while he
So
sits and watch.
if we can only spread our wings and find a profile like Eduardo Mendy, that stature,
I
also
know.
a little bit over average, come in and be in that position. We didn't know how Eduardo Mendy was going to do, but once he has opportunity, we all see what he can do. So I'm sure the guys know. Peter Cech and his people know. They can find someone in that manner of, just like when you have Kudicini and then Peter Cech. Those guys were so good, but then when Kudicini could not handle it anymore because it took him out of that position. We have those two keepers where have the same kind of attributes, but Peter Cech was a bit higher than Kudicini. So we can find something like that in town. That won't be too expensive, but then he can do the job when Mendy is not there, and will also be accepted in that position. That I'm okay to be on the bench when it's time for me to play this Carabao Cup and then maybe FA Cup. I'll take that opportunity. I want someone who'll be happy there.
Craig Foster will do that.
Yeah,
Happily.
yeah.
And that's a
So
great point
that's
because
my own perception and perspective about
Yeah, it makes your argument makes perfect sense. My brother Ludishenko, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you finding time to join us.
The thing
Tyrone,
is,
what you have to say about Tommy, the CFC fans are concerned about that Chelsea may possibly go for Donnarumma.
okay, I have three things to say. Number one, there is a report that Donnarumma has been his representatives have been approached by PSG, so it's likely that he might go there. So he probably might not come to the club. The second thing is with the AFCON situation, we're going to need somebody who will be satisfied and like Blue Claus was saying as well, who will be acceptable of being that cup goalkeeper as we tend to call them. But the thing is, Petr Cech even said it himself that we don't even need Donnarumma because Edouard Mendy is good enough. What we should be trying to do is to find a second choice goalkeeper, a backup goalkeeper that can step in during that period, or we can probably give him a few games to see what he'll do. Because Edouard Mendy, if we do get Donnarumma, I don't think Edouard Mendy is a type of player who will really bring up a fuss about not playing. But I know it would be a bit harsh, especially with the fact that he won the Champions League. But he doesn't have that attitude of I want to play every game, I want to do this. So in a way, I think he would be acceptable if he doesn't start the season. If we do get a new goalkeeper, well, not if, because we're gonna need one.
True.
I don't think you'll have a problem with not playing. I think you'd probably be okay with not starting the season as the first choice goalkeeper, so Chelsea could see what the other goalkeeper can offer. But Donnarumma might not come to the club because PSG has been approaching his representative, so I'm not sure about him. And I think I do know a goalkeeper that we could probably look at, but I don't think we might go for him. And he plays in Italy as well. His name is Emil Eduardo, but I don't think we'd go for him. He plays for some Sampdoria, but we won't go for him.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He has the same profile as Mendy, though. He has the same profile as Mendy.
For me, the main reason that Donnarumma will never come to Chelsea, let me say there are two reasons why Donnarumma will never come to Chelsea. Number one is that he's the Italian national team's number one goalkeeper. He is not going to come to Chelsea to sit on the bench and watch Mendes start all the games. And two is he doesn't fit the profile for the type of goalkeeper that we need in our system of play. He's not good with his feet. It's as simple as that. And Kit, I'm going to come to you quickly. So after your response, we will look at, we'll talk about Ludichenko's, what you can see on the screen where it says maybe a younger keeper to develop. Yeah, you understand. We'll talk about whether we have a younger goalkeeper who's good enough in the ranks of Chelsea, within the ranks of Chelsea players. So now, Ankit, what do you think about that notion that Chelsea may go for Donnarumma?
Oh yes, obviously I've listened to the guys. So see, as in from where Zion said, right? I agree at a
Mm-hmm.
point like letting Kepa go right now is risky in a way that okay, he finally understood what it takes to be in England, what it takes to keep in England, especially in the cup games. But
Yeah.
like Bobby mentioned, like January is a very busy period, probably the time where we lost momentum late December, early January under Lampard, which you don't want to do again, and we cannot afford someone who's inexperienced at that level. So a great shout would be someone who's been there, done that in England. So Foster, for example, although like Tyrone mentioned, an Italian goalkeeper, however good they may be, right? Even Donnarumma, I don't see them kind of coming even close to what level Mendy has reached. And January is probably the most essential period for the make or break where things really change in terms of momentum, right? So coming back to the other options that we have, right? So definitely, as in Donnarumma is in question only because of the price. The reason that he's not like having a fee and only salaries is what we are having. Plus, it is a time that Kepa needs to go because after a long time, Kepa has had a decent season, not a good season, but a decent season, right? He's had what 6 clean sheets in 14 starts. For Kepa standards, that's very very good. Trust me, that could be a good selling point for whoever is trying to sell him, and we can get him like a Europa League team elsewhere, maybe on loan, a 2 year loan, and then get him off because that's not fair on him. I actually pity him, right, in a way. And the young person we have is probably Jamie Cumming. I believe he's still on loan. He was playing at Stevenage and he's back. I have actually, like, just coincidentally today spoken to a Stevenage fan, and I believe like Jamie Cumming has got what it takes to get to the next level. Obviously, not start
Ooh.
for Chelsea, but he probably can be a second choice. Again, Caballero is there as a backup in case he
Jamie
doesn't come up. But
Cummings, where is he right now? He's the academy goalkeeper. Is he still in
yeah,
the academy or
Stevenage.
on loan somewhere?
No, he was
Still
on
in the
loan to
academy.
Stevenage.
Oh,
Stevenage is
okay,
basically
he's on loan. Go ahead,
exactly.
Ankit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's just today I had a chat and I believe that he is highly thought of. So why don't we actually blood him as a second choice keeper? Something that we
Mm.
did not do with Jamal Blackman all those years ago, right? As in
Oh
that
yeah.
is only if we are able to sell Kepa. If not, like I'm still for keeping Kepa if he's happy and we are able to afford his wages, because getting a new keeper from like a different league for an important January who wouldn't be happy later on to stay on the bench, no, that's a no for me. So yes, I would go with Dudishenko. Yeah, definitely, I would go with the coming for a third or second choice goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Mm.
thank you very much. Bobby, are you still with us?
Yes. I try and mute myself when people are talking, so I don't
Okay,
have any
okay, it makes sense.
interference.
That helps quite a lot. Bobby, do you know Jamie Cummings? Do you know him very well? Because the truth is,
Yes.
it doesn't look like we've had any goalkeeper from our academy make it through to the first team. It has always been the outfield field player. So, what do you think about the idea of giving a younger keeper time in the team? At least he can start from being the third goalkeeper, getting games here and there, and before you know, be mature enough to be part of the to be starting games for the team. Because it doesn't look like the academy produce a keeper that you can argue is ready, that is ready to play with the first team. He has always been outfit players. So what you have to say about the idea of nurturing a younger keeper from the academy to gradually integrate him into the first team?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some come close. Jamal Blackman came very close, and I thought it was a real shame when they sold him in the end. I really did, because I thought he would have really benefited from being around. But unfortunately, he was around during the time of people like Asmir Begovic,
Begovic.
Czech himself, and Courtois. So I think definitely the emergence of Courtois, because Courtois was so young, it put an
Yeah.
end to the development of Blackman at Chelsea. Then we had another goalkeeper. I always forget his name, the young Croatian lad. Now, he was
Carlo.
excellent. Sorry?
Yeah,
The PSG guy,
he's
right?
from PSG. Yeah, he's from PSG.
He's left the
Yeah.
club, right?
He left. He
They
left
signed him.
Yeah.
PSG also. He left PSG
Yeah.
also.
He's left
Oh, he's
PSG too.
Now, that is really sad because I thought he was an excellent goalkeeper. He had everything, physique, and he was good. And all he needed was development and experience within a first team setting. I don't know what the problem was there. Maybe it was him. Maybe he felt that he couldn't, get through with the keepers we had.
Yeah.
I think it was even Kepa that
It was
dislodged
him. It was
That's
him.
what it was.
It was him.
Yeah, it was Kepa because before Kepa came, he was the person
Mhm.
to be in goal. But then I
Right.
don't think they had enough faith in him. So Cummings, well, Cummings is he's a good goalkeeper. He's worthy of that opportunity. I think being a number two might be a stretch because he's never really. I mean, we've never had him in goal for cup games or anything.
Yeah.
Whereas, the likes of this guy that went to PSG and Jamal Blackman, at least they had the odd cup games. So Cummings would definitely have to be like a number three, maybe even a number four initially.
Yeah.
But I still think that a backup to Mendy, an excellent backup would be Craig Forster. He's an older goalkeeper, almost like Caballero, but he's younger than Caballero. He's not really going to, cause any fuss about coming off the bench or being number two. And he would love the opportunity to be in goal for Chelsea over the African Cup of Nations period. And he's Premier League seasoned. So whether we can get him or not now, I don't know. I'd hoped we'd get him last season. Somehow, I don't think the club's going to do that. I think they are going to stick with Kepa because he was an investment. And the last thing they ever like to do is to be proved wrong. And who's going to buy him? This is a problem. A lot of
True.
clubs have an issue selling players this season. And, many clubs want to offload many players. Man United have so many in the stands, same with Man City, not to mention the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. They've all got loads of players they want to offload, but the problem is who's going to buy. I don't think anybody will really come in to buy Kepa anywhere
Yeah,
near
it's
what we
a
value
difficult
him.
one.
Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
probably
it's
going
a
to be
difficult
between
one.
the six.
Except if the club would be willing to take an L for him because I don't see anybody coming close to even 50 million pounds. I don't see that happening.
No way.
Guys,
No.
we have just a few minutes to round up the stream. Nee, do you have anything to add to that topic?
Oh,
Yeah,
About giving a younger goalkeeper chance to understudy Mendy or whoever who is the second goalkeeper, and then gradually get to gain the confidence to be part of the first team.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. If the intent to sell Arisa Balaga now, then they have to start doing something like that. But if they still want to keep him, if they really want to sell Arisa Balaga, this is the right opportunity. This summer he has to go. But if they don't sell him, then there's no need of trying to work with a new goalkeeper. It will be so disrespectful to the Spaniard. He won't be happy at all after winning the Champions League trophy. So if they want to sell him, it's now. You don't want to keep Arisa Balaga and trying to work a young player into the starting 11. It would be so, like I said, very disrespectful to Arisa himself. So from now before I would say yes for a new young keeper, unless Arisa Balaga is gone.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that input, Nee. Before I ask the question with which we will round off the stream, I'll start with Ankit. Ankit, if you how out of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Eduardo Mendy's overall performance since he joined Chelsea?
Okay, so taking all the obviously factors into consideration, like I would say that I agree with Nije on where I say that yes, he was a signing of the season overall in all Premier League clubs. The way that he's come from like I know that Rene, they probably reached third and played in the Europa League, but the fact that he was not playing 2 games a week ever, like this was the first time in his career that he was actually consistently playing 2 games, because obviously Kepa was playing in very few cup games. Otherwise, it was Mendy definitely was playing, right? So to come like COVID situation in a new country, with the pressure that Chelsea had for goalkeepers, getting obviously the backing of Petr Cech and then performing, the tag is there at the back of his head, right? And for him to perform at such a high level consistently without actually getting in the limelight is something that I would say that even Ederson probably did not have as good a season as him. I would rate him even above Ederson in the Premier League, although I know that Ederson got the Golden Glove in the Premier League this season. But even if you see the stats, right? So I think overall, if you include all the games put together in the season, I believe his clean sheet ratio was about 1.75 games. Like every 1.75
Around
games,
that number, yeah.
yes, he got a clean sheet, right? So as I said, even Ederson, Allison, of course, right? The best goalkeepers of the world this season did not have that. So obviously that means that he is the best goalkeeper. Yes, I agree with Bobby as well, because he said that he is among the best goalkeepers in the world. He has to be talked about in that league right now, and I would say yes. I would rate him a 10 out of 10, but he needs to continue. Now the fact is, yes, he has reached that level. Whether he can reach that consistency is a big question.
Okay.
Yes, we definitely hope so.
Awesome. 10 out of 10, you said. And then there's a follow-up question for you. Is there any goalkeeper in the world that you would agree to swap Eduardo Mendy with?
Right now, no, absolutely no.
Nobody?
No,
Manuel Neuer?
because the long term is what you're
How
thinking
about
about.
Neuer
Right?
or Black? Any of them?
So Oblak, probably if you had told me 12 months ago, yes, I would have bitten your hand off. But Oblak right now versus Mendy, like Mendy started, don't forget, he started his career late, right? So he actually has like a decade and more in him. And if he is performing the way he's doing right now, imagine with the players that we have in Chelsea and of course the coaches, etc., what he will be, down the line. Like I see Mendy as probably reaching or probably even going beyond Petr Cech's level in terms of success. I think you can mark my words.
Perfect. I trust you, brother. All right, plugging yourself. Tell the viewers how they can find you on social media, where you have presence, and about your channel. Go ahead.
For sure, bro. So, guys, as you can see, I am RCBN Chelsea Fan TV. So, RCB is basically a cricket franchise. Yes, I originally am from India. I'm based in Canada, but originally from India, and I follow cricket as well. So, RCBN is what I am because I belong to that place. But I am a Chelsea fan, and that's why it's RCBN Chelsea Fan TV. That's what I'm called on YouTube. On Facebook as well, you can find me as RCBN Chelsea Fan TV or Ankit Rana. That's my name. And on Twitter, it's ANK. That's the first 3 letters of my name, followed by 30784. ANK 30784. And on Instagram as well, I'm available on RCBN Chelsea Fan TV, and I'm hoping to connect with you all.
All right, brother. Please, if you're watching, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, go check out RCBN Chelsea Fan TV. He has a very unique style, and I enjoy watching his videos. He knows the game very well. He's very knowledgeable about Chelsea FC, and has quite a lot of good content that you need to go see yourself. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to grace my invitation to be on the show, and I hope to have you on again as soon as possible.
Sure.
All right, Lee Zion, on to you, my brother. So, do you want me to rephrase the question?
I thought the question was meant for RCBN.
Yeah, from on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes, sir.
How would you rate Eduardo Mendy's performance since he joined Chelsea?
I don't think this question can be really, the rating can even be done. I mean, will be anything less than 9 out of 10 by even a middle school boy. I'll tell you, Eduardo Mendy, anyone that's really support Chelsea will tell you, Eduardo Mendy's inclusion in the team has really has really changed Chelsea position from where we are to what we are now, and be able to sustain the Champions League trophy. Be able to win the Champions League trophy. So yeah, it's nothing less than 9 out of 10. That's how I rate him.
Follow-up question: do you have any keeper in the world that you'd prefer to Eduardo Mendy, Manuel Neuer, Jan Oblak, anyone?
I don't prefer any other person in the world. No one else, but no one is better than Eduardo Mendy.
Wow.
No one else.
Nee, plugging
Yes,
yourself,
sir.
brother. Tell the viewers about yourself, how they can find you on social media platforms where you have presence. Go ahead, brother. Up to you.
I'll say one more time. I'll say thank you for this wonderful opportunity for me to be able to be part of your stream and also share ideas
Always.
to our wonderful Chelsea fans across the globe. Yeah, I want to tell all the fans that my name is Nate Zion, but I'm with Blue Clouds TV. Is the name of the channel on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. Blue Clouds TV is just one word. Blue Clouds TV on Twitter, Facebook. You can find me. And I also have my Discord server most of the time when I go live. I always have it there. You can join it and then be part of the family. I'll be going live in about an hour and a half from here.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you're not tired, you still want to hear more news about Chelsea transfer and stuff like that, I got something for you. You guys come over. Let's party together.
Thank you very much, Nee Zion from Blue Clouds TV. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, you need to go check it out. Wonderful intro, wonderful content. Overall, he's another unique individual with a unique channel and presents his content from a very, very unique perspective, and I believe you will enjoy it. Please check out his channel and subscribe if you haven't. Before I go to Bobby to round off things, I'd also want you to go check out Tyrone Talks. It's a great YouTube channel, and from somebody who's also well knowledgeable of the clubs. He knows Chelsea very well, the history, the players, and he has some great content for your entertainment. Please go check out Tyrone Talks. Also, Baggy TV, you need to go check him out. Baggy TV is a great channel. He has an Arabic YouTube channel dedicated where he presents Arabic content from Chelsea perspective to those that speak Arabic. He also has Baggy TV English, where he presents his content in English for Chelsea supporters who speak English. Steve Chelsea, thank you very much for finding the time to be here. I appreciate it. You're much loved, brother, and I know how difficult it can be, and I know what time is it over there. So I appreciate you finding the time to be here. Right, now over to Bobby. Bobby,
Yeah.
are you still with us?
I am.
Okay, so the first question is, how would you rate Eduardo Mendy's performance since he arrived to Chelsea on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, just like Nee Zion, I'm giving Edouard Mendy a 9. And I have a little backup to go with that, and it's a lesson in life. You know, I'm slightly more mature than most of you here, and all I don't have a channel or anything like that. I'm not interested. I've just recognized that information is the future, and I've recognized that you young men that go out there and do these things on the channel, you need support, and if we don't support you, your channel will not reach its potential. And what I get pleasure out of is seeing, Chelsea-based channels reach potential, be as big as I believe they can be. Now, the lesson in life with Edouard Mendy that I admire so much is endeavor. I admire young men with endeavor, young men that don't believe that life is easy. Sadly, we live in a world today where everybody's entitled. Nobody wants to work for anything. Nobody understands that, before you get to the top, you've got to suffer. You've got to put in the shift, and you
Absolutely.
will and can make it. So everybody, they all want it quick. Everybody's soft now. We need people that are hardened, people that are ready to go through what it takes to get to the top. And that's why I admire the likes of Edouard Mendy and those people like N'Golo Kante. They've really come through things. And that's why I give Edouard Mendy an unreserved 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't give him 10 out of 10 is that nothing is perfect in life. You don't get machinery, and you can
Good
never
point.
have perfect human beings.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And the follow-up question is for you is, Bobby, is there any goalkeeper in the world, the Jan Oblaks, the Manuel Neuers, and any good goalkeeper that that you'd rather have right now than Eduardo Mendy?
Right now, no. Mendy for me is almost as good as Neuer. The only reason he's not yet at Neuer's level is because he hasn't had as much exposure as Neuer. But Mendy is right up there. We don't need anyone else. He's not inferior to anyone else. He is as good or a better goalkeeper.
Thanks, Bobby. You said the same thing. Thanks.
Bobby, I cannot thank you enough for finding the time to grace my invitation to be here with us. It's always a pleasure to hear you talk about the club or an individual player or the team as a whole. I value your experience, and thank you very much again for finding the time to be here. And I hope to see you again to take some time and help us. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I'm overjoyed that you found the time to be here because your inputs are always great. Thank you again, Bobby. I appreciate your presence.
Sure, it's all good. The pleasure's all mine. Just keep going. Just persevere, and you'll see what the future holds for you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Nee, anybody has any final thoughts from that kid? Nee?
No, that'll do it to me.
All right, before I end the stream, I'd like to say special thank you to DJ Saul for being there in the chat and also contributing how he can. I understand he had internet issues, and like I said, it happens to all of us. It's not specific to you alone, and I appreciate you finding the time to be here, and I always love to have you available whenever I stream. The same thing goes to Steve Chelsea and everybody, all those that found time to join in the chat. And as a panel, thank you all, and I hope to see you guys again. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.